did a follow-up consultation with a client who is planning to apply for an O-1 visa. And so this was the second consultation because she wanted me to review progress that she's made on building her profile. So we kind of walked through the portfolio that she put together. And I think a thing that's missing um, for a lot of clients who are interested in O-1 visas or EB-1A or NIWs is to consider when preparing your case for submitting to USCIS. Um, don't assume that the immigration officer who's going to be reviewing your file will be familiar with your industry's jargon, acronyms, terminology. So that's a really critical part of the application process is, you know, just assume that the immigration officer doesn't have any familiarity with your field, right? So let's say, for example, you won an award. Simply naming the award, right? If it's named after someone, don't assume that the officer knows who that person is or that the officer will know or recognize what that award is, right? So when I kind of review a portfolio with a client, I go through everything with the lens of, I have no idea what you're talking about, right? And many times I really don't, right? If I'm not a graphic designer, I'm clearly not a graphic designer or an engineer or an architect, right? So, a lot of clients write their resumes assuming that the job that they're seeking, that the employer will already know, oh yes, this award is common to the industry or it's really prestigious, but that's not the case for USCIS, right? They don't know which awards or forms of recognition are considered to be um, prominent or prestigious. So providing that background information is critical to explaining to immigration why this piece of evidence shows that you meet this particular criteria for O-1 or EB-1. And that can make the difference between getting a case approved or denied by immigration is, just kind of putting yourself in the shoes of the immigration officer. It's an opportunity for you to educate the officer and say, the fact that I received this award proves that I have extraordinary ability and you need to explain to them what is the significance of this award. How many applicants were considered for this award. The wider the pool, then the more competitive it is, right? How many recipients were there? Were you the only person who won the award? Or were there, let's say, 10 or 100 other people who won the award? Who is the panel of judges reviewing, who kind of reviewed all of the submissions, right? How prestigious are their backgrounds, right? The fact that you won this particular award, was there any press coverage, right? So these are kind of like the minutia and the details that will make or break a case, right? If you just submit a whole bunch of evidence to immigration without bothering to give them the background and the context, then you're basically leaving your case, at the hands of an officer with like no knowledge, right? And considering how many cases they have to review, don't assume that they will go around doing research on their own, right? To learn more about your field. Some officers may do that, right? They may Google things or look people up on LinkedIn, but that's not always to your advantage. In fact, there have been times where in RFEs, an officer will say, well, I Googled you or I looked you up on LinkedIn, and the title that you use on your social media does not match what you say you're doing on your petition. So it actually can come back and hurt you. So you want to make sure that whatever you put out there into the, World Wide Web, is consistent and accurate, right? And reflects accurately, all of your accomplishments.